A lot of famous jerseys in silver and black over the years. And we always like to have a little fun here on Spurs Live when it comes to, can you name your favorite Spur? As we continue here, courtside from Minnesota, Dan and Sean with you. And our own Aaron Carreño put our Spurs fans to the test with a little jersey challenge game.
Yeah, that food looks good.
You know what I really love about this segment is we're always trying to come up with ways to find out how Spurs loyalty really adds up. So today we're quite literally putting it to the test by not only adding, but subtracting and dividing. So let's see who can ace this test today. So we're doing a little math here today. So I'm going to give you an equation and you have to guess the player. All right?
Okay.
Tim Duncan minus Manu Ginobili equals what current player?
This is, dude, I'm blanking on Ginobili's number right now.
Ginobili was 20, so it's 1.
1. So who's number 1 on the current roster today? Wemby. Oh my goodness. He knew that right off the bat. Here we go. Can we do 2 for 2? You think you can handle it?
Yes.
All right, here we go. DeAaron Fox plus Steph Castle equals what former player?
Tony Parker.
Guys, what is DeAaron Fox plus Steph Castle equals what former player?
Former player. 9. That's 9.
He's thinking.
Who is 9?
9?
That's 9.
Do you need a hint?
I do need a hint.
All right, he's from France.
Manu?
No.
Boris.
Boris Diaw is from France. I'm going to hand it to you, but it's not. He was a point guard.
Oh,
Parker.
9 was,
Parker.
Yeah, Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Okay, you are 2 for 2. Awesome job. We got the wheels turning now. Okay, we're 2 for 2, guys. Can y'all make it 3 for 3? We got David Robinson divided by Steph Castle equals what current player on the team?
Sohan.
Jeremy Sohan. That's easy. Easy money. We got one more.
Just had to make them harder for me, and then we got to go.
Well, I got one for you if you want it harder. All right, here we go. Let's go. Devin Vassell plus De'Aaron Fox plus Chris Paul plus Wemby equals what former player?
Oh, I done got lost now. I'm sorry, I done got lost.
Do y'all know who 32 is? Number 32, our former player that we know and love. He's in the rafters.
I'm not sure.
Memorial Day Miracle.
Oh, Daniels? No, not Daniels.
Sean Elliott.
Get this guy free tickets for the whole entire year. You are considered a diehard fan. We love it. You're 10 years old. And who's your favorite player?
Wemby.
Wemby, of course. Thank you so much for playing. Can I get a hug? That was awesome.
Oh man, you got that one right away. You were adding it up.
Well, I mean, I'm really vain, Dan, if you haven't figured that one out yet.
Can I ask you one too here while we're sitting here?
Yes.
Tim Duncan and your former teammate Brandon Williams.
Brandon Williams plus Brandon Williams. So Brandon Williams was number 11. So it's 32.
So it was
pretty easy.
Right. I told you before this. You take an educated guess. I gave you a little bit of hint. You'd probably get this one right, and you did. You did not.
Got to get up pretty early in the morning.
Did not disappoint us. By the way, you're going to see the other Brandon Williams, not related to that Brandon Williams, tomorrow. Your Arizona boy when the Spurs meet the Dallas Mavericks.
I don't know his number, unfortunately. Sorry, Brandon.
He's number 10, by the way, but you'll have some time to learn that. As the Spurs and Mavericks will meet tomorrow for the first of 2 coming up as the Spurs head home to the Frost Bank Center. But we got more coming up on this edition of Spurs Live. Count you down to tip off.
Who goes right by? Castle punishes the rim and a double.
Just electrified the crowd.
Stop it till I run the world. Castle, Castle, welcome home, young king. Till I run the world.
Drives in on Wiggins.
My. They're trying to stop me. I ain't stopping till I run the world. Castle with rum. Dunk contest windmill with Dominique in the house.
Now I'm the connoisseur. I'm the type to
fight. You got 2 of the league's most ferocious dunkers going head-to-head tonight. Steph Castle and Anthony Edwards. Sean, and I think you put John Morant in that category. That's 1, 2, and 3. probably in the NBA when it comes to ferocious dunkers.
Oh, yeah, those guys are putting on a show this year. Throw Shaedon Sharpe in there as well.
Yeah.
He's a high flyer. But no, I love it. I'm never going to complain about a dunk unless the opponent is dunking on our guys.
Anthony Edwards, though, has made a living with the three ball, as we talked about earlier, Sean. He leads the league with 255 made three-pointers, and in a category of there's a stat for everything. He's the first player in NBA history to make 250 threes before his 25th birthday.
That is a stat for everything. Listen, he shoots the ball really, really well, obviously. He's got great form on his jumper. My whole thing is you also got to play to your strengths, and your strength is that big body, all that power and athleticism. You do a great job of mixing it up again, and he's a pretty unstoppable player.
You know, the interesting thing about this Minnesota Timberwolves team is as good as their starting five is, it's a good starting five. It's been their bench that obviously I think probably becomes the wild card for them moving forward. Guys like Naz Reid, guys like Dante DiVincenzo. What can you get out of them moving forward into the postseason? Because they didn't make a move at the trade deadline. They stood pat with the roster that they had.
Well, they probably need to grow together a little bit more. Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo are two of the best bench players out there. Naz Reid, I've said it many, many times. I really feel like he's the key to their ball club. If he comes off and he has it going from outside, running the floor, blocking shots, he's a problem. And DiVincenzo, by the way, was the star of the game last time we played here. He did absolutely everything. Our guys were up and in control in that game. He comes off the bench and changes the entire atmosphere.
DiVincenzo averaging almost 12 in his career against San Antonio. Always loves playing the Spurs, but always loves playing in San Antonio, it seems, even though he played well here back in December. Sean, we take a look at the remaining schedule for the Spurs. Just 21 games left in the regular season. But again, amazing that it's evenly split home and road here.
It feels like we've been on the road forever. I mean, I need a roadmap to get home nowadays, Dan. We've been on the road so long. So our guys just have to hang in there. They have to be mentally tough. Use these road games to kind of build your mental toughness. Because again, you come into an arena and you're on the road for a week, 8 or 9 days, and that's happened a lot here. It's you against the rest of the world. That just makes you tougher when you come home.
And no consecutive days off. I think we counted it. There's 20 games in the final 34 days of the season. So practice time is basically done.
No one's practicing anyways, Dan. You're just watching tape. You're having walkthroughs, and that's about it.
But with a younger group here going forward, especially guys like Stephon Castle, you know, as they kind of develop, does that practice time, can you still find ways to sprinkle that in here as you go down the remaining few weeks of the season?
Probably not. I mean, guys that aren't playing a lot, they're going to still play in a lot of 3-on-3, 4-on-4s, things like that, away from the main starters, the guys that are playing the main minutes. Because right now, coming down the stretch, everybody's hurting. Everybody's a little banged up, a little beat up. I don't think it's wise now to get out on the practice floor and have an hour and a half or 2.5 hour hard session.
That's not going to happen anyway for the Spurs, as you saw the schedule there. All right, Sean, give us your keys to victory tonight here.
Well, turnovers are always going to be my key to victory on the road. You got to take care of the basketball. The Minnesota Timberwolves are not a team that gets out and run as much as our guys do. So don't fuel them in the open court. Don't give them excuses to get it out in the open floor and get highlight plays and easy dunks. We've got to figure out the glass. We're plain and simple. We've got to rebound the ball much, much better. We've got to make a concerted effort on the defensive end to clean up defensive stance. Everybody's got to go hard for the rebound. Don't assume somebody else is going to get it. And how about you win the battle in the paint? I thought maybe Gobert wasn't going to play, so it's going to be a little bit tougher. But actually, our guys average more points in the paint than the Timberwolves. So you win that battle. If you can win it handily, you have a chance.
Yeah, Gobert's top 10 in the leagues in blocks, so he obviously makes going inside difficult. But your point about the pace is interesting because they're bottom 5 in terms of pace.
Right.
Just 98 possessions a game. And the Spurs always seem to find success against some of the slower teams in the league this year.
Yeah, so you don't turn it over. Don't take the ball out of your own hands. If you're going to turn the ball over, throw it into the third or fourth row. Don't throw it to an opponent so they get out and run and get easy buckets that they're not accustomed to.
And obviously, let's see, we got a couple of bounce-back games. Let's see more DeAaron Fox here tonight. Find his strengths against Minnesota. We said he averages 33 against this Timberwolves team. He could be in for a big night here tonight.
Yeah, I've said it many times again in the past. When you play well against a certain team, you like to see them. And so he can draw back on some of those memories of having big performances against this ball club. Maybe he goes out there and he has a big night.
All right, we'll see. Final meeting of the regular season between the Spurs and Timberwolves as We close it out here in Minnesota. Rudy Gobert and the T-Wolves taking on the Spurs here tonight. Jacob Toby, Sean Elliott, they bring you all the action. Got starting lineups. Got tip coming up. Enjoy it all here on FanDuel Sports Network.
And hello, everybody. What is going on? Jacob Toby alongside number 32, Sean Elliott. What else is new? Steph Castle had another 20-point game. He just keeps on impressing us day after day.
Yes, he did. But first off, I want to wish you a very happy birthday there, Strong Oak.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What are you, 25?
I wish.
Yeah, you look 25 anyways.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, getting to Steph Castle, look, he's the rookie of the year. No one's doing what he's doing out there on the floor as a first-year player. He's doing it all on both ends of the floor. He's throwing it down over opponents. He's attacking with ferocity. He's playing solid defense, gets a chance to shine and show off, and gives the crowd their money's worth every single night. And the more he's out there, the more reps he's getting, the better he's become. And so you look at those numbers, pretty remarkable.
Yeah, Wingstop bringing the flavor. He brings all the flavors for every sort of wing, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. A little Louisiana hot, a little dry rub, a little spicy, and just a little hint of lemon pepper.
Don't forget about garlic parm.
Yeah, that's yours.
Okay.
Garlic parm.
Our producer says, gross, Daniel. Come on. Know your stuff. Anyways, let's talk about the Spurs, not the Wings. DeAaron Fox, if you didn't know, he scored 60 points with an injured pinky finger. He injured his pinky finger way early on in this season. He had some interesting comments after last game. Take a listen.
Yeah, we're shooting for, I think whenever we're in LA, because the doctor's in LA, so it makes it a lot easier. What is that, like 9 days? Something like that.
Evaluated?
The surgery may or may not happen that day.
Okay.
So.
Just went back to the new look king.
What do you think, Sean?
Well, he and I have that same finger on our shooting hand. I had a lot of people ask me if it affected my shot. It didn't because I played with it for so long, but if he can get a chance to get it fixed, there it is. If he can get a chance to get it fixed, go ahead, because then you have an opportunity to rehab and you're ready to start the season.
All right, we'll see what happens. On the other side for the Timberwolves, a half game out of 6th place. They're led by Anthony Edwards, coming off of a game where he only shot a season-low 10 shots. The Timberwolves can be dangerous if healthy.
There's no question about it. They still have the confidence of a team that made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. They still have that man, Rudy Gobert, and if Julius Randle plays well, they're tough to beat.
Rudy Gobert, returning from a back injury. He is in the starting lineup tonight. Last time these two teams faced off, it was just a 2-point game. It's the Spurs and T-Wolves next.